Well, it's Saturday the 7th of August, and this is episode 2129 of 301 Permanently Moved to Online, a personal podcast 301 seconds in length, written, recorded, and edited by me, at the jaymo. The COVID brain fog is beginning to lift. As a result, I'm experiencing the phenomenon of unspent mental energy coming to the surface. What remains of the brain fog is hard to explain. Difficulty concentrating isn't exactly the phrase that I'd use to describe it. My attention span is fine. Meditation is experienced the same as ever. I pick my mind up and put it back to wherever it needs to be. Mantra also unfolds as normal. What's different is the quality of attention seems to have changed. Problems seem to lie a little lower in the stack. It's difficult to explain, but I'll try. A change in surface tension. Like when you place a bar of soap on a wet surface and it begins to move and slide by itself. Or like when a digital camera's autofocus is struggling. There is a focus of attention, the rest of the scene is going backwards and forwards, in and out. I don't know if that clears things up, it may complicate more than it illuminates, but it really isn't conducive to writing. It's hard to focus one's attention on words appearing on a screen via the movement of one's fingers, when the rest of the mind is listing backwards and forwards like the deck of a boat in a swell. So instead of just pressing on with writing, an activity that I'm not currently enjoying, I've decided to throw myself into learning mode. I've been messing with 3 bits of software this week. I'm inspired and I'm keen to spend more time with them. Last year, I did a couple of shows thinking about software. One was the relationship between code and the UX of a program. It was about the abstract hyperdimensional nature of software and how using it creates a multiform discourse between the user and the program. I proposed that we need to explore or invent new words, language and ontologies to speak about software's effect on our day-to-day lives. The other was called How Does Software Make You Feel? I wondered if building software from the ground up to evoke an emotional feeling rather than as a byproduct was even possible. Anyways, both of these lines of thinking have been fresh in my mind this week whilst I've been learning. Firstly, or perhaps finally, I've decided to learn Unreal Engine. Booting the client for the first time is a little overwhelming. Unreal is mad complicated. So many abstract tools that influence and interconnect. Epic's Learn.Unreal Engine tutorials are really good. Very simple step-by-step guides, building up from first principles. I'm going to do more, but their tone was a little too dry, so I've switched over to a YouTube channel called Make Games with Katie. It seems to be aimed at teenage girls, which is far more my speed it seems. What's interesting is the type of attention that arises after I've been using Unreal Engine for a while. I still have zero agency, but the hand-holding of the tutorials feels a bit like polishing a lens. Each time you do something new, a little bit more is revealed. The shape of the hyperdimensional object that is Unreal Engine is slowly emerging. I've also been messing about in Adobe Medium on my Oculus. It's essentially a VR sculpting tool. Medium is hands down one of the most intuitive pieces of software I've ever used. Beyond the UX design pattern used for the controllers, sculpting and manipulating virtual clay in virtual space is like nothing that I've ever done before. The sensation doesn't just feel new to me, it feels new as in this is a new paradigm. At the same time, it's totally intuitive, way more so than using Blender. The quick start tutorial is like 10 minutes long, and then you're away, spraying virtual clay from a virtual nozzle straight away, as if you've been doing it all of your life. My 2019 gaming laptop struggles a bit, but at least it gives me a warning to save my work before it runs out of memory. Even though I've owned a VR headset for a while, this is the first thing that I've used that has got me excited to dive right back into the virtual. I'm blown away by the possibilities of this software. Lastly, this week, I've gone back to messing about with AI image generation. Everyone, it seems, in my peer group is messing with AI generated stuff right now. I've previously played with vqganclip, but this week I've been playing with a line art style transfer tool and vqganclip. All of this is powered by Google's Colab tool. Other than booting the notebook and messing with the parameters, I really don't know what I'm doing, but I am grateful to the researchers and hobbyists who have written such clear how-to guides for their code notebooks. Most are as simple as do A, then B, then C. It's mind-boggling to me that I get to use data center level compute power and it costs me nothing. A tool that essentially comes free with an email address. It has to be one of the best value products Google has ever released. The UX works really well, and messing about with it currently provides a window into the future of consumer-grade cloud computing. Speaking of the future, I've really enjoyed exploring all of these tools this week. Jumping between all 3 back-to-back in a single evening, however, has strange effects. A touch of future shock, perhaps. And weird dreams.